Hey there, and welcome back to the City Project. We've got a bit of a special episode for you today because I'm doing a world tour with some friends. Swarmee, PinkedDuck, BobertPickle, and Carstairs95. Now, unfortunately, Bobbert is a bit sick right now, so he's in bed healing up, but we've got him here in our own way. And there are some audio issues, so I hope you bear with me as I try to fix them my best. But without further ado, on to the episode. I hope you enjoy.
Done. Interior done. You're welcome.
Oh.
£50 PayPal right now.
What? Hello there, special viewer, and welcome to an equally special episode. This is the year anniversary of this series, and I hope you'll join me in a world tour with these three lovely folks. Actually, four lovely folks. So yeah, there's five of us, and we're gonna tour the world. I suppose I should introduce you all. Okay. Get out of the. You guys are like children. Okay,
ruining
so
it.
You're seeing this as the intro, but what you're not seeing is the 30 minutes of mucking around trying to corral these four, into a space where I can record them. And so here we are.
It's all been Bobbert, though. It's all Bobbert's fault.
It's all
been
Bobbert's
fault. He is very disruptive.
So, down in the void is Swarmee. Swarmee is cool.
Hello.
He has a YouTube channel. You can check out the links of all these fine folks in the description. Here's PinkedDuck. PinkedDuck is also another one of our pickled friends of the pickled posse. And then, among me, Swarmee, and Bobbert. And then here's Carstairs. Carstairs is a lovely builder on Hypixel, and he's going to judge me excruciatingly, and it's going to be painful and fun.
Are you ready for it?
So, I guess without further ado, let's check to see if I'm actually recording. And have a look at the first building I built in the series, just about a year ago. This building was supposed to be sort of like a hotel bathhouse type deal, and this was kind of what kickstarted the whole series. I wanted to build a building, so I built it, and then I thought, hey, wouldn't it be nice if I had a city kind of around it?
And we won't look in the interiors.
Yeah, that's probably something I should mention. There are no interiors.
There's one
interior. There's one interior.
We have to find the interior.
Yeah, there is a secret interior, and I'm not going to tell you where it is. All right, campers.
Not this one. There's no interior in here.
Yeah. It's just this episode's just going to be Kian and Cruz, the hunt for the hidden interior. Oh yeah, I probably should have mentioned you won't be able to understand the signs unless you are in Unicode font, because I play the game with Unicode, and Unicode gives you more space on signs. And so you got to turn to Unicode, and you got to relog if you want to understand whatever's printed on them.
That's not English.
It's not the eye trees. It's just they're so boring.
Is this problem number 2?
Okay. I resent the trees are boring.
No, it says it's not that I dislike trees. It's that they're so boring to build. All right.
I take that as a personal offense. So you're off to a great start there, but yeah.
Well, to be fair, I do them by hand. I don't know any of the brush techniques. Well, it's not that I refuse to know them, because I have principle.
Because you hate trees that much.
Yes, cars. I love cars and pollution, guys. That's why I built a city with no cars. Okay, so this building,
no trees.
this orange building is the second building I built, and I don't think I'm gonna go through like every building, but we'll just kind of go in a loose order of the creation. This was supposed to be a school, and a couple episodes after I built it, I decided to add on to it, and that's what this pink, not pink. What am I saying? I'm confusing people with my buildings now. That's what this blue and white section is, and honestly, I don't like it very much. It's kind of ugly. These are the priorities I have in my city, or at least I had when I built this. It was part of a discussion.
You're right about the Unicode color spelled with a U on that sign. It's really weird.
Whoa. Whoa. Oh, spelled with a U is the correct way to spell it.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Suppose we gotta.
I am in the minority here.
I think we do have an odd one out here, don't we?
Yep.
I don't even know how I'm meant to spell it.
With a U.
Doesn't
matter where you're from. It's meant to be a U.
Based on your accent, I'm gonna guess with a U. Yep.
All right. So let's take a little bit of a turn down here briefly, and then we're gonna go back upstairs.
Upstairs.
So here I built this. I
Yay.
think I built this the same
Green.
episode I built the
Remove.
the extension to the school or something. Things are a little bit muddled, but this was supposed to be sort of like a little bit of a park, and originally it was going to overlook a cliff. One thing about this series is that because it's a no-plan city build project, that I don't really create any sort of outlines or sketches for things. I just kind of think of an idea in my head and see how far I can take it before I either fail or change my mind. And in this case, I changed my mind because there is no longer a cliff here. There is a building that is not complete.
Oh.
What are your thoughts, Bobbert? What do you think?
Oh, that's quite cool.
Bobbert, this is very
Bobbert,
rude
think-
how you're not replying.
Yeah, what the
I
heck?
think Bobbert
Very
wants to go
rude.
on the tree swing.
He does. I think so. I think so.
Alright. Alright.
The tree swing is pretty cool.
How did you
Thank
do
you.
that?
There he
like the
goes.
tree swing.
Oh, you did
He's
it.
the barrier block.
It's
there.
very cool.
I was too lazy to stack the ladders with world in it, so I just put a barrier block there. But yeah, there we go.
Hey, it works.
All right. Let's move on over here. Actually, I'm gonna. You know what? No,
This
let's go
is-
back upstairs. Let's go back upstairs, and we can take the high road, and we can go back down the low road once we are through the campus
Well, there wasn't
up
any
on the hill.
roads.
I liked
sure
the
you
little
check-
shrine to your free time. That was a nice touch.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Mhm.
So this building right here
Yeah.
is supposed to be sort of like a power distributor. It's not really well thought out. The actual like economics of it, I didn't think of at all. It's just something I thought might look good, and so there's that.
Has it got interior?
Oh, you're now trapped inside.
No.
I don't think
Breaking the door.
I see what you mean about not thinking about, the economics of it, or, I don't think they would use copper to decorate the exterior of a power transmission building.
Okay, you know what? This
No?
is yeah, that makes sense. But
Yeah.
consider the fact that I'm treating a lot of these blocks as just as like their aesthetics,
Right.
and not as
Mhm.
what they're called within the game.
Yeah, not the actual material
Yeah,
science.
so
behind
so
the
I'm
block.
I'm imagining this rooted dirt to be more of like a hard packed road. It just happened to be the color I wanted.
Gotcha.
Actually, I completely forgot to mention this in the introduction, but we have a mod enabled. Swarmee, what's the mod called? I've forgotten.
Distant Horizons.
Distant Horizon. So that's why the distant buildings look a little bit blocky, because I'm using a free server, and the free server doesn't have very good render distance. So the Distant Horizon makes us see a little bit further.
Yes. Instead of fog.
Exactly.
Very
Anyways, here are some houses for people to live in. They aren't too special or neat. They're mostly just a cookie cutter design that I came up with, that I kind of adhere loosely to with variations throughout because I want to keep it interesting. So, for example, this house over here has a bit of a balcony, and it's the only balcony that any of these houses have,
Ooh.
other than ground floor ones. But yeah, you'll notice a reoccurring theme in this
Oh.
this city where if
broke
I
the
don't know
door.
how to fill a space, I'll just put plants, and so that's kind of what I've been doing for the most of this build, is just putting plants in places where I don't know, or in places I don't know how to fill. Yeah, here's the backyard.
I like your texturing with the white wall. That's nice.
Oh, thank you. Yeah,
That's a way of kind of adding some detail to what would be just a plain wall.
yeah,
Mhm.
that's one of the things I think I discussed in this episode. This might have been episode 2. I don't quite remember, but yeah, it was that I try to minimize the like shape detail and let like big shapes instead of little add-ons. What am I trying to say? Try to let the big shape of the build with texturing do more of the work than little tiny add-ons, I guess is what I mean. So you'll notice that none of these buildings have a full frame per se. It's mostly just flat walls and windows. I think you might appreciate my allergy machine.
That's awesome.
Spore. Is it spore blossoms?
Yeah. If you
they're
have
cool.
particles on, you'll notice that the particle radius is pretty big on these, and so they're a neat way to add ambience to a space. But they also make the air look really dusty, and so it's like a balancing act, I guess.
Ooh, that's a nice little pillar design.
Ooh, which one are you talking about?
The lanterns on
lectern
top
on
of
top.
your...
Oh yeah. I
That's
love
another one,
lecterns.
that's nice.
They're one of the few like wood wall blocks, I guess you could say, with like the width between a fence and a full block. So they're really nice to use in this sort of application.
Welcome to my
I haven't seen that before.
I think you'll see it a lot. I think I use it quite a lot because I was tired of thinking up new ideas. Okay, so everyone, all right, campers. Everyone, meet me here at the blue building.
Bobbert too.
I love how you guys all come out. You're like little ducklings. Oh yeah, Bobbert's here. Thank you, Bobbert. Let's look at this this little apartment complex or something. Now, I'll show you the outside first. It's just this big long building that I thought would look cool for like people to live in. But the inside is where more of the fun is at. And I actually built this quite a number of episodes after I completed the original design, so it's a little bit more detailed. Ooh. I think it fills the space nicely. I was trying to go for like a Studio Ghibli kind of vibe here, as I do with a lot of the city, and as I've commented on before in my episodes. And so... yeah, the ambience is definitely more nature focused, and I guess for a lack of a better word, intimate in the way it shows its details to you.
Plans.
Pardon?
I found a void in your plans.
Oh yeah. You know why there's a void underneath this building is because it was before I started building the terrain.
Okay.
So you'll be able to tell when I built some buildings because they won't have floors. It's just a blank space inside.
That's fine.
But yeah. And then coming up on here is I think it's still my favorite part of the city. This is the university town area. It's at the base of the hill with the university. But this is sort of like the general hanging out place for students, so they can buy books, they can go to a cafe and go to a library, they can hang out in their dorms or whatever. And yeah, so there's a whole bunch of stuff to explore, just not inside. Yeah.
They can try and interpret the modern art statue.
Oh yeah. I love to do this. This is my go-to for the space. I'll give you a minute, and then I'll tell you what it's supposed to be.
Waves.
I say ducks, pink ones, but gray ones.
All right. Nope, wrong. They're mountains. So there.
Oh.
They're mountains?
I mean, they're supposed to be.
It's like negative space mountains.
Exactly, right? You're supposed to fill the space in with... It doesn't work that well in the game, but yeah, you're supposed to fill the space with your mind. Yeah, so this big building here, this big train station looking one, is supposed to be a library. I tried to kind of mix old train station-y vibes with the modern style, and so it's probably bigger than it needs to be, but it is quite the clash, and I'm really happy with how I pulled it off.
The interior is
looks good.
Again.
Thank you. This thing over here is supposed to be one of those campus distress things, and so you're supposed to be able to press the button if you have an emergency or something, and then the campus security or emergency departments will be alerted. I don't actually know how functional they'd be, but I've got 2 or 3 or something. They're mostly on the hill. Anyways, before we move on from the campus village, I want to go back here and actually show you some of the student hangout area.
I've been watching too much YouTube. I thought you were going to do a sponsor segment. Before we move on.
Yeah, before we move on, let me thank our sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends. And then I'll just...
Nice.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, this is supposed to be like a student hangout spot. I thought it would be neat to have lanterns, a little bit of a homely vibe. Yeah.
Really like your hedges.
I'm actually going to take a detour here, bring you guys past in the little sketchy alleyway, and we're going to have a look around this broken fence into the elementary school yard. So here's the back of that school I showed you earlier, and this is their sort of like running around yard. Here's a track. There's a track here. There's a baseball diamond of sorts. And then there's a really haphazard playground and a shed, and then another haphazard playground. Because what's better than 1 haphazard playgrounds is 2 haphazard playgrounds.
Right.
Sounds perfect.
Don't contact occupational health and safety on me, please.
Already have. Don't even worry.
I'm more concerned about the hole in the fence, so all the kids might just run out.
Oh yeah, like that was my attempt of kind of adding like a lived-in experience, I guess. Because if everything's perfect, it's like, yeah, but that's not how things are in real life. And so I thought, just break a couple holes in things, wear some things down, and that'll help feel a little bit more
Close the
realistic, I
building.
guess. I don't know. It
Or some
works
punk
to a
college
limited
kids.
success.
Some punk college kids broke the fence down so they could come over here and play.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. There's a snowman in my student
Grow up so
parking lot.
fast.
Parking lot,
Right.
not a parking lot. What am I talking about?
Parking lot?
Yeah, there are no cars in this city. There's no parking lot. The other thing you're parking is yourself. Okay.
Hey, I'm a car. I'm a car with stairs.
Hey,
Yeah, sorry, no interior,
Whoa,
no
there's a
light.
problem with this interior. I can't go into that one.
No entry.
Well, now you can.
Oh, that's nice. I was going to say, I like the way that this building here has more books than your library does.
Oh yeah, you know what? I was
Is
that
this
is
the
that is
interior of
kind
this
of an
house?
oversight. So my idea was to have like the bottom of this to look sort of like a bookstore, and I thought just outline the window in books. But then the library I thought was getting too big, and I didn't really want to tackle that same problem with there. So there is a bit of an inconsistency with that. I agree.
What's this?
That's fair enough.
This stone thing?
All right.
That's another statue. It's an Endermite
Oh.
statue.
Where?
Oh yeah. Like a giant ant.
Oh, that's what
Fuck.
it is. All right, I'm down for your interpretations. I didn't really have an idea of what these were supposed to be, but yeah.
Now it's functional to make noise.
It's like a horned beetle.
Yeah, it could be. Maybe it's a
Yeah, okay.
college mascot or something. All right, so are you guys ready to tackle the campus?
Yeah.
I think this is like the
Yeah.
biggest
I
single
wanna go back.
thing in this city. So yeah, let's take the elevator. It's warped with video editing.
Right, what we'll do is we'll cut now, yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa, that was really cool.
Whoa,
Wow.
how did I get here? I'm
Whoa.
on
I
the
didn't know you could
stairs.
build.
And why
Check
is
to see if
Tina
I'm
over
recording.
Was there an explosion when I hit a button?
there? I don't know.
Yes! All part of my plan.
Oh,
I found the Easter egg.
Yeah, so I rigged this button with TNT in the hopes that one of you would press it. Anyways, yeah. Yeah, this is supposed to be like the accessible part of the campus. So, being on a huge hill, it's not exactly accessible for people who, can't walk up long stairs. And so I added an elevator here. I made a whole episode about accessibility with this campus, and I'm pretty proud of it. Still my favorite episode. But yeah,
I think it's my favorite episode too.
nice. It's featured on my top 12 favorite videos in my playlists. But yeah, so here's sort of like the initiation building, the orientation sort of area, this little modern building here. My goal was to have sort of like a 3-tiered ages system. I know there are better words to describe, where it's like there's a super, super, super old castle, which is like these white and granite buildings. Then there's a medium old castle, which is the red, and then there's a modern aspect to it, which are all the white buildings. And so I thought, this campus is built over several hundred years, and it's been added to and revamped several times. So that's the kind of story I wanted to tell.
I see actually
Yeah,
giving that some
well,
thought. A little history of the build, that's nice.
Yeah. That's
The building
something
definitely looks older.
yeah, that's something I try to pay attention to with the city. Not always successfully, but sometimes successfully, I guess. So yeah, here's sort of like the main walkway of the campus. Yeah. What's the sign say? What do you?
The sign say water.
Very helpful. Thank you, Pink.
You're welcome. Just in case you forgot.
Yep. Here's another one of those campus. Oh shoot! Now it's broken.
Oh, no, it's not.
Yeah, sorry. Don't have an emergency in this area. Thank you. Yeah. And then coming over this way is sort of like the main walk of the campus. You'll notice that it's kind of hard to get up on this side. There are no ramps, but if you come over here real fast, you'll actually see that I have a ramp section. So there's one side that is a stair, and there's one side that is a ramp. And it's pretty janky, but it is Minecraft, so we can kind of excuse some things. But yeah, I paid attention to a grade, I believe was 5% grade. So every block traveled up, you need 20 blocks traveled horizontally. And so that's why this is 10 blocks wide. So it suits
It's actually quite cool.
appropriate grade for a wheelchair ramp. So there's a rare time I've done research for a build.
20 along for one up. That's pretty nice.
And then this little quartz pillar over here is supposed to be that sort of ribbing you find at the edge of crosswalks for people with canes, visually impaired people. So anyone who has a visual disability who has a cane can like feel the edge of and know that they're at the edge of stairs. So I've got those dotted around campus as well. Where to go from here? Let's see. Well, this is a bit of a dead end, so why don't we go up here first? Up here is supposed to be like student areas. That was what it was originally. But then it kind of turned into the library, and then when I built the library down in the bottom of the hill, this turned into just another building for classrooms. So that's all this is, just some classroom building.
Oh, I love this interior.
Were these builds and kind of inspired of real life buildings, or are they kind of just out of your own mind?
Really loosely inspired. It's not something I've ever seen in person that's inspired this. It's more of just like the vibe of, well, Japanese architecture or whatnot. Obviously, it's not super faithful, and the designs are rather simplistic when you pay close attention. But my goal was never to replicate. It was more to just do my own thing with inspiration drawn from various sources.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So
your
your
trees are nice, by the way, as well.
Thank you. Yeah, these are the only ones I've built every time. So every other tree is a copy-pasted copy. I've got a tree library somewhere. But yeah, these little short trees are the only ones I've gone and built each time. I just want to take a quick detour over this shrub because I want to show you my water tower. I thought it was really cool when I built it. This is based off of one that these tankards are based off of some that are near where I live. And this water tower is based off one I've seen on Google Images. So it's supposed to be this sort of modern-ish structure, although you can see it kind of wearing down a little bit on the sides.
There's no water.
You should go inside this one, Pink. There's a door over here.
There's a door?
Yeah.
Oh my
Got him.
Crazy.
Well, there should be water.
You got
in
me
it.
too. Is that? Did you just add that?
No, it was there already.
Really? Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm forgetting things left, right, and center. Wow. Okay. Yeah. No, there are a lot of mysteries in this city that even I don't know because I've forgotten them. So there you go. All right. Let's head back over top of this wall. We'll just use our fly hacks.
He didn't know it was wall until he read the sign that said it was wall. And
Oh
now he
yeah,
knows
yeah.
it's a
Thank you
wall.
for your help, Pink. That I appreciate
You're
it a
welcome.
lot. Don't know what I'd do
Anytime,
without you.
Pink's doing us a real service here.
Oh, no, that it was a wolf.
I thought it was a floor. All right. There's not too much to see over there. There's just another classroom building, right? That's also a wall over that side.
What?
Speed run.
I'm a little bit confused.
Are you
Alright,
now
so-
going to become a speedrunner, Kian? Speed running super side Kian
Did I put
confirmed?
those there?
Let's do it super fast.
Or was
Kian.
that you, Pink?
There's no way to know. Have to
Oh my
review
The
God.
question
footage.
is,
I'm being gaslit by my friends, guys. All right. Anyways, let's head over down and go to the other main stretch of campus. So this right here is supposed to be sort of like the main building. I got a little bit carried away at the scale here, so it is 4 stories tall, and that makes the other buildings that are behind it, which you'll see in a bit, look a little bit teeny weeny and dinky and not that great, but I like it nonetheless. If you take a cut here in the garden, you'll actually see this is supposed to be a theater building. This building right here, I'm just gonna jump over the wall once again. This is supposed to be a theater building, and the back half is all rounded because it's supposed to look like the end of a stage. It's not a very big stage, so it's kind of like the bare minimum. But I thought, you know what? The campus needs a theater program. Let's warp using
Hashtag
our
theater kids.
telekinesis powers back onto the main lane, and we could go down the ramp. 1/2 block at a time.
Whee! I forgot to turn off auto jump.
I just don't know how to walk straight, apparently.
All right, and then here's another thing you can call for help for, and then, you know what? Why don't we tackle the old castle first? I think the old castle is something we should look at first. And yes, Bobbert can appreciate this view too. So yeah, the first thing you'll notice is that there's a bit of an ugly pile of blocks here. This is supposed to be a ruin of like a portion of it. However, I did get a little bit lazy, so it doesn't really look like much. I guess I can pass it off to it being really old, but still, you can definitely see places where I took shortcuts, and this is one of them. So what I wanted to do is like imply that, you know, more of this hill had been covered by this red and white castle before the other castle came here.
I think it works.
Okay, cool.
It gives off very foundational vibes.
It's definitely more effective from the ground, I've noticed. That's the case for a lot of this city, and that's why I've been walking everywhere, because we could be flying, but then we'd see things from above, and they're not that good looking from above.
I personally like to walk through all of my builds as well.
Yeah,
because
yeah,
that's
yeah.
how people are going to see it at the end of the day.
That's the perspective this is intended for, because I want it to feel like immersive. As long as you don't open any doors, right? Then you should be
Right.
Or look for any windows.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just don't look at anything, guys. You can believe it's a real
I
city,
walk
just
around
like
with my eyes closed.
All right. So this way, here's sort of the entrance. Oh,
Oh, that's a nice little glitch.
did I do that? I think
I
I
quite
did.
like that, to be honest.
I think I used the debug
And-
stick on
and-
this, or maybe it was
and
one of
Pink
you.
just
I don't
broke
know.
it. Wasn't me.
Okay.
I don't even
I
know.
think it
What
might have
Yeah.
been you, Kim.
This is a unique tree I built to fill the space, but I didn't want to do like a full-size tree, so yeah. Okay, anyways, let's enter the old castle. So this
Yay,
castle,
castle.
I got really lazy with. A lot of it is pretty repetitive, but I still like it. And here, this was my attempt to kind of show that it had been renovated inside. So on one side, I've got like a modern door with like glass and stuff and some smooth blocks, and on the other side, I've got like the original doors or whatever these might be, just to kind of, you know, give a little bit of a dissonance between what used to be and what currently is, I guess.
It reminds me of a building from my university.
Oh, that's
It
cool.
was very much half of it had been renovated, half of it hadn't. So one side was, you know, nice new doors, glass doors, and the other side was just, you know, old like wooden metal doors.
Nice. All right. I'm glad to hear I'm going in somewhat of the right direction. Here's another one of my big custom trees. This one took way too long. But yeah, it's one of the few I'll ever build. And if you come out here to this really obscure entrance that Swarmee's having a really hard time with, this is like a little bit of a luxury balcony. So this castle wasn't really something super fortified. It was more just, you know, a place, a backwoods retreat, I guess, for some royal rich dude. And yeah, there's a well here
Royal
for some
rich
reason.
dude.
It doesn't serve any purpose other than for aesthetics. So I imagine this was like some out-of-touch rich guy saying, I want a well here, and then getting it because he's rich.
Well, I think it suits it.
Thank you. Yeah, and then there's not too much down here, although if you look off in the distance, you'll see my tree library. It's very
see
sparse
floating trees.
because I don't like building trees. But yeah, there's my tree library, just spruce trees and oak trees. The last of the castle is this area here. This area I was really clutching at straws because I wanted to be done. And so a lot of it is just details for the sake of details. They're not super well organized or planned out. But yeah, this is just another courtyard, basically.
I like the pergola canopy. That's
Thank you.
good.
And then, oh yeah, these, I've tried to be consistent with my drain pipes. So drain pipes in this city are either warped wood or crimson wood fence. And that's it. Anyways, this entrance over here is it just goes straight to the elementary school playground. Otherwise, it doesn't really serve a purpose, and probably wouldn't have been here when the castle was new. Alright, with that out of the way, let's have a look down at the back end of the campus. And you'll find another building that I placed there just to be there. This building doesn't really serve a purpose other than to exist in the space and kind of fill area, because I wanted more than one building on the portion behind the campus. So that's
Yeah, it kind of just like looks like an office that they've realised when they've hired more staff, they need like more rooms. They've just built like a really super modern office.
And
at least that's what my
that's
university
better
does,
lore
so.
than I came up with. Yeah, that works. There we go. There's the lore, everyone. Carstairs, you are now a collaborator in this project.
So
I like the accent wall with the prismarine on the backside.
Oh, thank you. That was
Ooh,
another
nice.
thing where I was
That is
just like
nice.
scrolling aimlessly through the inventory trying to figure out a block I could place.
Ooh, is
Often
this
what happens is I just
Ooh.
scroll and then pick one and then
Oh,
use
cool.
it, and sometimes it looks good, sometimes it doesn't.
Did you do
Sometimes it
this
looks
with
like
like
an H.
a debug stick? But you don't normally get this kind of textual balls, do you?
Oh,
Or is
no, no,
that
no,
still
this
like a
is
version thing?
this is newer, so I forget what update it was. I think it was 1.12 or something?
16.
Or was it 1.13? I think it was 1.13 actually, or 14. But either way, when you place walls together, they don't have that texture anymore. They become flat. So they are essentially
I
like
think it's a new
they are
Vertical
like vertical
slabs.
slabs. Yeah. So it's a really neat addition. So for example, if I surround this, you'll see here, Car, that it just conforms.
Yeah, this. Oh, that's quite nice.
It is super useful.
This is.
It's quite quite a nice feature.
Mm,
It's a lot better than doing every single one with the debug stick because that takes a long time and it kind of sucks. Debug stick is great, but it's super manual and not super user friendly, right?
yeah, yeah, that is the pain.
All right, here's a random archway I built. I wanted to use of the ancient debris block because I think it looks really cool. The problem is though it doesn't blend very well with anything else in the game right now. So it's just this really awesome looking like retro gaming brick texture that I can't use with anything. And so I thought I would just try anyways, and that's what I came up with. And then I used it on this building. So this building actually does have a story. It's supposed to be sort of like an aerospace engineering research facility. And so it's fairly small. I'd say this campus doesn't have a very big aerospace program, but it's or not aerospace. Sorry, my bad. What's the thing when you look at the stars? What's that called?
Astronomy?
Astronomy. There we go. Yeah, it's an astronomy building. And so yeah, it's got a big antenna on the roof, and it's got a dish that you won't be able to see unless
The
you fly.
observatory. Yeah,
Um,
the observatory.
Yeah, and then on the other side of it
Nice.
is an actual observatory. So yeah, this building was one of those ones where I just tried to be a little bit more radical with the way the shape worked. I was really into modern styling at this time, so I thought, oh, I really have to try doing something super hyper modern, and this is what I came up with. And I mean, it's not super duper modern, but I like it anyways. There are definitely
think it's
more
pretty-
modern things. The style almost looks like a parody of modern in some aspects, I think.
I would say this kind of looks like what it was built in the 70s, but it was built by a futurist to look modern. So it was
Yeah.
like kind of like 80s modern, but 70s futuristic looking forward is kind of what I would say. But it still looks good.
Cool. Okay, that's not an interpretation I thought of. I don't actually think I had an idea of what era this might have been from. I think it was just something I built, and then I don't know. I just thought the colors looked neat. That was pretty much it. But yeah, that is definitely a more mature assessment than what I come up with.
It would be my favorite building, IRL.
Very cool. Oh yeah, and if you peer across this edge of the cliff, don't fall off. You'll see some unused buildings.
Yep.
And so yeah, there's a building near my school that we'll have a look at later. That this was originally for, but it no longer. I thought it was a little bit too radical to fit in the area. Although I do want to attempt this sort of like things on top of other things style later on with this series, if I can. But for now, things are a little bit more held back. So I'm saving it for another time. Yeah, we can go running through the forest if you want, or we can head back through the campus. But other than that, we're pretty much done.
At the end of the tour?
The way?
Of the campus, sorry, not the tour. We've still got a
Oh,
lot
of
to
the
go.
campus. Oh, okay.
Now we've got like 2 more hours of content, guys. Let's go. Stream.
Smash that like and
videos.
subscribe button.
Yeah, smash the like. Woo!
It's the
Subscribe to
only Ben
BobertPickle.
video, not everything else.
Definitely
Bobert.
subscribe over.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it would be a shortcut. It's not a shortcut. Don't
I
go
mean,
that
we can
way.
make it a shortcut, guys. Come on. What are you afraid
Ooh.
of breaking my city?
Yes.
Just spawn the weather already. Come on.
Smash give TNT.
All right, what am I doing? Oh, sorry. I just forgot we were recording. Okay, let's continue. Yeah,
I saved Bobbert. I saw that TNT. I had to
Ooh,
move
I
him.
heard that TNT. It's a good thing that my game volume is low enough that I can just ignore it, pretend it didn't happen.
It didn't.
All right. So with the we're actually almost done the campus. There's one more spot in the campus that I have to show you, and that's the soccer pitch, or as some of you would say, the football pitch.
What's that?
Should we have a game?
Game
Problem.
of footy.
Oh, you know what this is? This was from episode 13 when I was talking about that building. That building's a problem. We'll get to that in a bit. But yeah, this was from episode 13. I was recording a bit here and then I forgot to delete it. But yeah, let's not spoil the view.
Problem's gone.
I think we're gearing up for a distraction. Uh-oh. Yeah, I'll just watch from the distance. All right, guys, give me a show.
In the bleachers.
Maybe I'll narrate some things while you guys play
There
around.
we go. Can play football.
So this area, I really wanted to have like a sports arena. However, I ended up running out of space on top of the hill, and so I decided to. What are you guys doing?
They set the football on fire.
It's an awfully large football. Are you sure this
Yeah.
is Are you sure this is like legal within the game?
Oh, he broke the grass.
Oh,
I don't think so.
gonna score.
Yeah.
Stop running against me football.
I had sort of like a dueling set of problems. So one, I couldn't fit
remote
anything
goal.
else on top of the hill, and two, I had I had a road that was on top of a cliff that I didn't know what to do with, and so I thought I would put an outdoor football/soccer pitch down here and have the bleachers kind of bridge the gap between the upper level road and the lower level pitch. And so, in doing so, I've created one of my favorite scenes in the city.
Key and I found another Easter egg.
Paying attention to
Oh, what'd you find?
I found another Easter egg, but there was no water in this one.
Man, you guys are so destructive.
Hey, you did that, not me. I just hit the button.
Well, don't go pressing buttons then. I thought you would have learned the first time.
Nope.
You're as bad as green.
It was the opposite. I saw a button and I knew that buttons do something now, so I had to hit the button.
It's like I give you guys permission to blow things up, and you blow things up. Like, who would have thought, huh?
I still say I'm innocent in this one. You did that, not me.
Okay, Mr. Guilty Pants. All right. Yeah, that's about it for this. I mean, there isn't too much to say about the style, I guess, of the grandstands. It's more of just I wanted to do another sort of like Art Deco modern type of deal, and so yeah, and this is what I came up with. And so
I like how the lighting,
Yeah.
whenever you're on the ground looking up at it, actually looks like it's multiple lights there because of the perspective shift from seeing the bottom side and the side of the block of the sea lantern.
That's not actually something I considered when building these. Good eye. Yes, that is something I considered.
really
Totally,
cool.
yeah. I'm a genius,
Totally,
guys.
it was on purpose. Yeah, that's cool. Oh, now you're trying to pop the soccer ball. Stop it!
No, you killed
man.
the football.
You popped the soccer ball.
No.
Anyway, shall we move on? There's not too much more to say
Yeah,
about
no.
this.
Yep.
Yeah, the note blocks on the lights are supposed to be speakers. So there, that's it. That's all. So let's go back to the start of this road because I do want to walk down it. I think it's pretty fun to walk down. So like usual, before Swarmee uncharacteristically violently blew it up, we had an elevator.
Yeah.
And then here are the bleacher stairs. And then down here is the road. So we're going to go this way now. So I had a little bit of a tough time doing this road because a lot of it is the same. And so I put little planter boxes here on the sides of this. This is actually the first thing with the bleachers I built with the whole football/soccer pitch I built was this side here. I knew I wanted it to look like this, and then I just kind of based everything else from that. All right, so we are done with almost a half of the city. Now we have the other half to look at. I think we're more than halfway through like the builds, but in terms of like mass and area, we're about halfway through. So where do we want to go now? Oh yeah, here's another.
Road goes, what do with?
That's funnier than what I put. All right.
Need reason for to be there.
Needs
Okay,
excuse.
Okay, so this one says road goes across. What do with
with?
bridge? Weird caveman face. And
Same
then this
was
one
in
says need
English
reason
and
for
stuff.
bridge to be there, and this one says need excuse. So this is when I was planning this area. So this is probably one of the messiest parts of the city. This area, and you'll see why if you fly up. So if you just like lift off the ground and go up, you can see how the roads diverge. It's very much redundant. It's a parallel road. It doesn't make too much sense unless you think of like vertical travel, in which case this might be excusable. Like it as an engineering project, it doesn't make sense because they had to split these rocks in half to get this road up here. But the whole idea was that this is supposed to make the whole city accessible because the top half of the road otherwise would have just been accessible by stairs, and so I thought it might be nice to have like a really not steep road to get up there, and that's how this came about. And so I have this whole swampy area down here where water is collected with some drip leaves, which make better lily pads than lily pads, believe it or not, at least in my opinion.
Oh, pink.
Rip
Rip pond.
and
I like
and
when you've done
yeah,
the brain crop. It's a nice little like lily pad flower. Oh,
Yeah.
I think I broke something. It's nice.
oh yeah.
Oh,
I
every
was
time I walk
really
on it, it
dismayed.
explodes.
They don't work on top of lily pads, even with /set block, which sucks. So I had to put them on dark prismarine slabs. But other than that, no complaints here. Yeah. So I guess the genesis behind this area itself was this copper bridge. And so this copper bridge was planned way before I ever thought of the other side. So anything across it. I knew I just wanted a bridge here. I needed reason to have this little hut here because I didn't want to take it down. So instead of, taking it down and redoing something, I decided to make a whole other landmass to justify my bridge. And then I decided, hey, I need a road underneath this thing to justify. I forget, but you get the point. It's just like justification after justification. Ended up giving myself a whole much more work than I originally had, and now we're here. And so
You
yeah, you can go
exposed
up that
yourself a
road.
minute ago too.
Pardon?
You said you exposed yourself a minute ago. You said you planned this bridge in the no plan megacity.
Okay, yeah, I guess. I mean, I guess no plan is a pretty loose term. It's more of like
I was actually gonna ask you how do you define it in your head?
okay, so it's a good question. What I define as like planning is like laying out outlines with wool or whatever, finding a city layout and determining everything beforehand. In this case, I'm doing it building by building, and I have overarching ideas, but I never commit to them ultimately. So they can always change, and in fact, they have changed quite a bit. And so the product, of course, is a super chaotic mess of a city that doesn't make much sense economically, but is certainly more interesting than a generic castle town, I guess.
Yeah, I would agree.
How long have you spent kind of redoing things you didn't like? Or did you kind of have like a plan of what you
almost
wanted
no
to build
time
in
at
your
all.
head?
Pardon? Sorry, I interrupted you there, my bad.
So like once you decided you wanted to build something, so like this bridge, for example,
Yep.
did you kind of know what you wanted for the bridge? Did you
Um,
look at like inspiration, or did you kind of just go, "Yeah, I'll be alright, let's do it"?
I knew I wanted something old, but I didn't really consider a design until it came time to do it, and then I kind of panicked because I realized I didn't know how, and so I just had to like trial and error my way through it.
Oh, fine.
That's most of the cities, like trial and erroring. The only like super continuous thing, I guess, would be these houses with the snow and wool walls, because they're kind of like I put them on the other side of this too. So yeah. Anyways, you guys all right, campers?
Yeah, I have another question for you.
Oh yes, questions are good.
How did you do this magic?
Where?
The
over
floating
here.
anvil.
Oh,
Yeah.
easy peasy. Yeah, you just
Very.
nope. Sorry, you place the buttons first, and then you place the anvil. Buttons hold up anvils.
And you put
Oh
TNT.
wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Didn't know that a
That
button would hold
seems-
an anvil. Cause
I didn't know it too until I tried putting an
It's-
anvil
it's-
there. I just put some
it's
buttons to
obvious,
like,
it's-
because I was like, I need to
That
fill the
seems
space,
so wrong.
and so I.
it makes
yeah,
sense.
especially since the hitbox of the button and the actual physical texture of the button is
They don't
smaller
even
than
fly,
the spacing
you
for the
know?
anvil away
I
from the
know.
wall.
Oh,
If you drop it past, it goes past the button. If you put it on top, it doesn't.
I guess not. I guess because it hasn't activated its falling sand identity yet, and it's not an entity. It's just technically a block. I think the true is for
Uh-huh.
sand. Let's try. Yeah, the same is true for sand. But if I do this, it'll fall straight through. Anyways, all right,
It's really weird. Yeah.
all right,
Interesting.
campers. Time to head over this way.
He's telling me there's a campsite over here. Been waiting for so long to get home.
You don't get to go home until we're done. Yeah, I've got you hostage here. So I just want to quickly get the ugliness out of the way and show you my least favorite part of the city, which is this building.
It's
Which is a shame because
Yeah.
I like this
building.
building.
Yes,
I think I may destroy it, or not destroy it, but I'm definitely removing it because I have other ideas for this space. But my original plan was to have like a big, huge bridge here that would go off into a distant cityscape. Of course, that didn't happen. One, because I didn't like the idea, and two, because it was big and I'm lazy. And so this wildlife conservatory center is what it was supposed to be, ended up being a little bit too ambitious for the scale I wanted to employ in this sort of area. And so what it ends up doing is looking like too big for the area, at least in my opinion. And the style clashes a little bit. It's like having a science world in a rural town. So a science world here in Canada is this place. It's like a what do I compare it to? It's like an indoor theme park for science, I guess.
We kind of have something similar in the US. They usually called discovery centers.
Yeah, exactly. It's a big museum,
Like a
basically.
museum
A big
sort of,
museum
yeah.
with lots of activities to do. And
We
that's
have
what
a
this
really
was supposed to kind of
disappointing
look like.
museum.
But it ended up being really unbalanced, and so I think I might remove it at some point. You guys can actually come up on top of the roof if you want. I do have some decorations up here. So, like, this was supposed to be like the plants area, right? You look at the fauna and you read about them and play around next to the glass dome and blow it up.
Bang.
And I did have ambitious ideas for this. For example, the flower antennas on the roof were actually intended to be viewable from most of this hill. So if you go down onto the road in any place on this in the city and just kind of stand there, you should still be able to see the top of the tower, the top of the flower, I mean, and kind of, see it in the distance and know what you're looking at.
Yeah.
So that
The
was my
flower
experiment of trying to make like a beacon of sorts.
That's really cool.
Buddy.
Tree. All right. Yeah.
Tree.
Yeah. Very cool. Anyways. Oh yeah, you like my
It was
pixel art?
me.
I don't know if you noticed it before. But I put a big fried egg on the side of my campus
Oh.
building.
Yeah, I was gonna say it looks like an egg, and then I saw it says egg.
Yeah. That's one thing
Yes,
I've been
sir.
trying to do a little bit more often with recent episodes is decorate with that sort of thing.
This client-side mod is so weird.
It is.
It
It's
looks
like
so cartoonish.
it looks.
It's cool though.
It is a neat effect. I like it. I think it's cool.
It's better than
I think
fog.
that should
It
be
is.
some
It is
background.
better than fog. Yeah. Before we move on, I just want you to have a look at my dude kicking the soccer ball. It's another modern art piece. It's interpretive, right? Behind you.
That's got to go.
Oh, I was like, I see a flower.
Yeah, I'm gaslighting again. It's actually a dude for me. Come on. We all see it,
Oh.
except you. Yeah, that's. I was trying to do like a perspective drawing, I guess, where it's like, like, I can't describe this, but the NBA logo or like Jordan's
Mhm.
on the shoes, where it's got the guy, but he's 2D, but it looks like a 3D image. I was trying that with this. It went okay.
Yeah. I think it's pretty good.
Thank you.
Gets the effect across.
Barely. It's like,
Pink's over there stealing your diamonds.
what? Where did I place? Did I put Did I?
There were diamond
Don't
blocks
worry.
down there.
Oh, there
They're
were?
mine now.
Man, I'm
I think
discovering
so.
new things about the
pickaxe.
city every day.
My diamonds now.
All right. Before we move on, there's this upper area here. But
Ooh,
it's
just a
mostly
fancy little house.
mostly just the same, so we don't have to spend too long in here. It's just another one of these sort of community living buildings. Except this one I wanted to make kind of like a witch's hut, like something again from Studio Ghibli, where you'd have the protagonist stay in while they're in their mysterious city and they discover themselves, that sort of thing. And so there's like a vineyard in the backyard and everything, and all that. And then there's some trees, and it's neat, and yeah, that's about it. There's not too much to say about these. They're about the same as the other houses on the other side. But yeah, definitely I focused a lot on trees here. I wanted this to feel like a rural backyard.
Very unique way of doing oak trees. Quite like it. Very floppy and.
Are you talking about?
These ones.
Oh, these guys, yeah.
These ones here. Yeah. Very unique. They kind of remind me of like trees from the Lorax. Very soft, very floppy.
That's
You
cool.
want to just
Okay.
like give it a hug.
Yeah. My idea was, of course, to add lots of air. But of course, since I'm doing these by hand, it's kind of hard to do floating blocks like you would with brushes to get that kind of approximate effect. And so a lot of this tree is just me holding down right click and spamming leaves and then breaking ones and then slowly shaping it into what it is now.
The drip leaf really works as a nice stem or trunk.
Thank you.
don't know what it would
I
be.
I discovered it when I was building that texture pack village with you guys.
Oh, nice.
When I tried those plants, I realized, hey, drip leaf actually looks neat as a stem, so I thought I'd place it around here.
Yeah, the texture pack village build. Yeah, video coming soon. TM.
Coming soon, 2020.
What?
Pink, are you making a treehouse?
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. All right. Anyways, campers, I think it's time to move on to the home stretch.
Even says there.
We're almost done, believe it or not.
Oh, goodness.
I don't know how long I've been recording. Actually, let's check. How long have I been recording? 37 minutes, and that's the second recording. So there's two of them. Ooh.
I've been recording for about an hour.
Oh, this is going to be a
Robert's in
long
shock
video.
silence.
Yeah, I'm prepared to take 2 days to upload this because my internet sucks.
I have no idea how I want to get this video to you.
Yeah, just
This is gonna be
just
fun.
upload the raw video file to Twitter. Car, come on, do it.
There you go.
Oh yeah.
Put it in a USB and ship it.
Might be faster.
Yeah,
That'd
so
probably be cheaper than my electricity bill. I'm trying to like send it electronically.
No, that's
it would be.
82%.
Might take less time too.
Yeah.
Okay, so this tunnel went through a couple stages. At first it was flat, but then I realized, hey, it needs to have some kind of grade in the ground, or it's just gonna have like this big hill right at the end, and that's not gonna be fun. And so it turned into this. I had a really hard time detailing it, to be honest. But I think it turned out in the end. I think the problem is it's hard to make a tunnel look more than a tunnel, I guess. I don't know. What are your thoughts on detailing sort of liminal spaces like this, Car, if you have any?
Avoid them.
I'm the easy ways to do it are what you've done. So put it at a slight angle always helps. Break up like the big flat spaces of wall, not wool. And as you've done as well, have little sections that go down. Again, it just means that when someone's running down it, they actually have to just kind of think a little bit. That kind of adds to the immersion if they have to jump over something or jump up or something, because no one
Okay.
plays water jump.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
nice little way to kind of keep people engaged and running at a slight angle as well. It might be running towards, you have to kind of
Yeah.
move a little bit.
One of the things that you might notice with this road is that it goes up in full blocks, and that was intentional. I wanted to kind of imply it is a gradual slope, and I feel like using slabs, especially of a different block, because of course we don't have dirt slabs, would kind of wreck that immersion. And so I thought I would it's one of those more is less is more type things, I guess. And I didn't really want like the steppy of the slabs where it's like suddenly there's a slab wall here, right? And I also didn't want to like cover half of this area with slabs in order to get the perfect slope, because that would have been painful as well. Plus it would have wrecked a lot of the detail I tried to do elsewhere. So yeah, there's my excuse for that. You'll notice that there's a bit of a chain running through the top. That was my attempt at doing some sort of power lines to power the bridge beyond. It doesn't make too much sense, and I think I might remove it later. But this was sort of my last-ditch effort to kind of show that everything is powered. However, as you can see, especially with the power line going up the hill, it gets a little bit messy, especially since we don't have diagonal chains and have to do it step by step, like in steps. Yeah, it gets a little bit goofy. So that's
You just have to
probably
look at
gonna
it at the
go.
right angle.
Yeah. You can do slight angles with the chains and have it still work, but as soon as you do like 45 degrees or close, it gets weird and it doesn't look that great anymore. All right, so we are approaching the current episode. Actually, this diagonal house is something I built last episode. But before we do that, I do want to thank our sponsor, Manscaped.
Great Shadow Legends. Oh,
Second
that's right.
sponsor.
Oh,
I want to bring you guys
that
past
changed.
the unfinished behind because there's one more thing I want to show you before we get to that, and that's this building right here. This green and gray. You'll notice it looks a little bit similar to that one Studio Ghibli building I showed you a little bit ago, and it's also supposed to be sort of like a somewhat decrepit living arrangement. But it also separates this tier of the road from the tier above. So if you fly up here, you can actually see that there's a bit of a backyard where the cliff is. And so that was another attempt at sort of like doing a bit of an immersion. Now, you can't actually get down here when you're walking, so it's more of something that you either look from or fly into. So it's not super functional. And the same goes for actually the playground in my school extension, which you'll see is actually in the center of all of these buildings. Campers!
Lava on the slide? That seems a
I'm
bit
behind you.
dangerous.
Yeah. It's supposed
Oh.
to emulate the heat that one of these slides gives off on a hot day.
Oh.
Gotta find my other campers. Over here, Pinked. I realize that doesn't help you. In the school.
Oh, okay,
School.
there you are.
Yeah, sorry, I got a little bit rambly there. Yeah, here we are in the school. And then here's our appropriately hot slide. You guys know how hot these get on a sunny day, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
we
So
saw.
the lava's there to emulate that. I don't know what these are. Just some kind of jungle gym. Oh, my voice is getting crackly, but we're almost done, so that's good. Now let's look at this building. This building right here. This building is actually the only building I've redone.
Oh,
It
yeah,
was
this was the one you
green
just
and it was
redid
red.
the outside.
Yeah. So I redid the outside with, on one hand with new blocks, but also because I just didn't like the original. And if you look over that way, I've kept the original next to the old one, or the original next to the new one. You can kind of do a side-by-side comparison. But basically, the overhaul was designed to kind of update the messiness, I guess, because the original house was more of just me needing to put something somewhere and deciding, hey, I want to make this look colorful, let's use a variety of blocks, but I didn't really pay attention to where those blocks went and how they interacted with each other, so it ended up looking like a bit of a disparate mess, and so I attempted to fix that with my redo, and I think I did.
Yeah, I would agree.
Definitely.
The next part is the docks. And this is where we are currently. This is where the city is headed, possibly in the future. It's going to be a river city, and this is going to be upriver. So here's
Nice.
here's what I did in the most recent episode. And you can see there's my attempt at a diagonal building. You can see what I did to detail it because diagonal buildings are such a pain to detail. I just did a bunch of graffiti.
It worked.
Graffiti works.
Yep. And that's something I want to carry over with the rest of the city, is just make it vibrant, have art pieces everywhere. You know, clean buildings are nice, but buildings that have a personality, that look like someone's decided, hey, I like this building, let's decorate it, are better. I just think that vibe is so much cooler. And so I've tried to kind of carry that over here. And the same sort of deal goes with the sea wall, or the whatever you want to call this, partition wall or something for the water. My idea was that maybe it was perhaps a dark prismarine color, but that color is kind of worn off, or maybe it's just half painted and, you know, still under construction. Who knows? That's up to kind of the viewer, or I guess the person, to decide themselves.
I found another elevator button.
Ooh.
Nope, safe this time.
Oh, safe. That's okay. There's another one under here. This is the elevator for my the docks because I needed it to be accessible. But yeah, there are some shortcuts here.
It's not safe anymore.
I believe that one won't destroy it. I think I just put it down to the
No.
void.
Yeah, there was waterlogged.
So this is supposed to be. It's not very realistic, but it's supposed to be like a
Oh.
little thing that lifts cargo up to the top.
Yeah. No, that looks really cool. That's really good.
We have a boat being built over there. Very nice. But yeah, the idea was that river boats would come upriver, and this would be like their last stop on their river tour or whatever, and then they'd kind of moor here, get unloaded with people or with cargo, and then be sent back downriver on their way. And so I've tried to kind of make it so it can be like a hybrid system. So, you know, either of these berths can have a cargo ship or a person ship, and it just, you know, it adapts to whatever it needs. So that's what these sort of big floating hallways are for, is for passengers and stuff who maybe want to get off the top deck of a riverboat. Now, obviously, it's a bit high, so that the ramp would be like sloping down, but still, you know, it's
They get out.
that's the idea.
Do they gotta swim?
I mean, we're implying that there's a hallway in here, you know. Just
a
pretend with me, you know.
Just like how there were interiors in all those buildings.
Yeah,
Ian,
exactly, right? Speaking of which, you didn't
You
find
can't-
my mystery interior.
I did
Man.
not-
No,
I
we
did look
didn't.
for it.
Guys are really
missed-
slacking.
You can't put a lift here now and have it perfectly lined up. They won't line up.
What did you... What?
What if you wanted an elevator at the bottom
Right
there?
here.
And
Oh, yeah, no. I don't think... That's the nice thing about not committing to interiors is you don't have to think about that stuff, and it's great. Let me tell you. It is amazing
No.
not to have to worry about that. It makes these builds so much easier.
Yeah, you've got a nice little docked boat now.
Sweet.
Yeah, but
All right.
mine's better though. Look
A
at it.
dinghy.
A dinghy. Yeah. Sorry, Car. You've been deemed a dinghy captain.
Wow,
No permit for you.
you're a thingy.
And with that, thank you for watching. Yeah. I don't really know what else is there to say. There's not too much more to say.
Show us the interiors.
Oh yeah, you want to see the mystery interior?
Yeah, we got to see the mystery interior.
Okay, let's
It's
show
gonna
you
be
the
like a
mystery
single
interior.
cat.
It's all the way over this way. It's actually something I built in my first episode, and you didn't catch it. To be fair, though, I did avoid it, so you guys wouldn't find it. But whatever.
Wow.
It's actually a little bit of like a garden house in this person's yard. So we're just gonna hulk our way through this, and it's this. It's sort of like a little dojo type of deal. So it's just like this little tea house for hanging about,
Ah.
doing nothing in particular. But I thought,
Really
you know,
nice little-
and this never really happened, but what I originally planned this area to be is sort of like a starting area for all the world downloads. So I'd start here and I'd have a little book with all the history of the build, and people could read it and then explore, like have like locations labeled in the book and stuff. But that never really happened because I kind of forgot about it. So yeah, maybe I'll use this in the future, but for now it's just the one building with an interior.
And it should stay that way. This is the only one that gets an interior.
Yeah. This is my house. Everyone else doesn't
It's
get
such a
get an
nice
inside.
spot for a floor. Looks like such a clean floor.
I know,
Yeah.
right? It's swept regularly.
Where's
Um,
Bobber,
You said
by the
nobody
way?
else gets a house. I'm pretty sure Pink has like 27 houses now.
Oh
I
yeah,
claimed
Pink's just
designs on
claimed all
several.
of them, right? I'll be finding little
Mm.
TVs and stuff, and holes in my city. Pink, what the heck?
What hole?
And onions.
You're a menace, man. Come
Onion.
No. It was Bobbert.
on. Where
did
is
you
Bob,
put
by
that?
the way? I haven't
It's
seen
totally
him.
Bobbert. He's peeping in the window.
That's terrifying.
I've completely lost you. Oh, there we
Is that his
go.
head?
He seems to be looking directly at the pillar. Are you sure you don't need his vision checked? Yeah,
He
is your
might.
Bobbert
His
healthy?
glasses-
Contact Kian for more information.
Bobbert might need to go see his optometrist and get a new glasses
I got it.
prescription.
Don't even
Ah!
worry about it.
Oh yeah, you guys are actually just in the right spot too for me to show you the best part of the city, the absolute most amazing part. Okay, you don't get it anymore. Sorry.
Oh,
Void.
hey,
Oh,
I
this
didn't
is
do it.
lovely.
I
Yeah,
was
sorry,
like,
no, you don't
I
get
only
it.
got
No,
rejects.
one.
you don't. No, it's
These
too
bridges
late.
down here are
Sorry.
very nice.
All right, guys, thank
Oh,
you for
what's that?
watching.
Bobbert.
Bye. No,
Oh,
actually,
nice.
it's the only default Minecraft tree. If you look to,
Uh,
I don't know where you guys are.
where is it?
Behind you.
I'm gonna blow it up.
All right.
Candle. You can put out a fire with a candle.
I am exhausted. You know
You can
what I'm
stop
gonna
talking,
do?
Nucky, and I think the video's done.
Yeah, the video's pretty much done. You know what I'm gonna do though tonight? I'm gonna be laying in bed. I'm gonna think, shh, oh, crap, damn it, I forgot to show them something. And then we're gonna have to do another tour. We're gonna have to do this all over again tomorrow.
We should do back-to-back episodes. Next episode
Yeah.
right now.
All right,
Let's
next
go.
episode, tour part 2, episode whatever it is,
Woo!
like 16 or something.
We're
Yeah.
looking at the same thing, but
All
it's
right.
different this time.
Anyways,
Short number
um,
762.
thank you for coming on here on my free server.
Excuse me?
For this yeah, you cut me
It was
some break.
going
I've never
so
talked
well,
this long
Kian.
in one
It's
sitting
going so
before.
well.
All right, everyone.
So I did not sign up for that.
The entities.
But seriously, thank you guys for joining me on this tour, and thank you, very special viewer, for watching. I hope you enjoyed. As I mentioned before, these guys, you're twitching a little bit there. Are you all right?
Yeah, I went into F5.
As I mentioned before, the internet personas of these guys are all going to be in the description. They all make some kind of content on the internet, whether that be building for the weird underground server known as Hypixel, or making
No one's ever
content on
heard of.
YouTube. They're all pretty snazzy people to go encounter online. So go check them out if you want. And that's it from me. So again, thank you for watching, and have a nice day. Goodbye. While I
Bye.
bye everyone. Wish me luck as I deal with
Bye,
these hooligans.
Kian.
All right.
Bye.
It's an anvil cake.
All right. They can't hear me right now, but this is exactly why you let your toddlers, burn their energy before going to bed. Because as soon as you start trying to, record a series or something with them, or not a series, a video, they decide, hey, how about we check out all the new features of 1.19 right now while Kian's doing the intro. And so we're just giving them some time to let off that steam. And then Bobbert and I will be ready to kick off the episode once again.